Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be an anti-haul because we are all sitting here and just scrolling and looking at stuff, and even I'm someone who doesn't really feel the need to buy anything, feel kind of like, oh, maybe I should buy something. I have all this time, I can be playing with new makeup, and I just want to combat that with a little bit of anti-consumerist content. So let's go. Before we get into it, my drink of the day is water, because health, and my candle of the day is vanilla and marshmallow from the brand Bloom and Prosper. I got it at Ross. So, okay, let's just get into it. I'm going to be looking at some pictures on Trendmood that I've saved, and we're just gonna go through them all and see what we see. Okay, the first thing is Pat McGrath Labs concealer. I don't know, it's just a very expensive concealer is my main concern with it. I just don't really think that you need a concealer that's that expensive. I have like a really amazing concealer from Pacifica Beauty. I've been using it for the last couple of weeks, and it honestly works so well. It's drugstore, it's very cheap, and the Pat McGrath's one is giving you 0.16 fluid ounces for the amount that they're for the price that you're paying, and mine is giving you like a half a fluid ounce. Obviously concealers don't have very much to begin with, but 5 milliliters is not very much at all. That's not a lot of product, and so I just don't think that it makes sense as a consumer to get something like that. I mean, wait, basically is my point. Wait, see if you like the reviews that people are giving, but do not just buy it right now because you're like, ooh, Pat McGrath, new concealer, ooh. This next thing is the P. Louise. It's the Valentine's Day one. We have a lot of Valentine's Day stuff to get through because I have not made an anti-haul since before Valentine's Day, and then they released more Valentine's Day stuff, and I didn't think they were going to. And it's, I don't even know what it's called. It's like fall in love with yourself every day. And I like it if the packaging were just not so bulky and awful. I get that they're trying to give you like a PR kind of look with this packaging because you have your 2 highlights, although I would argue that the one highlight is probably a bronzer for like a good amount of people. It looks pretty dark. It might be just like a gold highlight, but it looks pretty dark. But I mean, it's a perfectly fine looking palette. It's probably cheaper than Natasha Denona, and it looks very similar to the Natasha Denona. But honestly, for me, I'm like, go support Midas Cosmetics, go support the Smoky Glow collection. You'll get a PR package too, if that's what you want, and it's kind of a similar color story. I think hers is more interesting than this one, to be perfectly honest. There's a couple more golds and like sparkly ones that I don't really see in this, and I just think not everyone needs a PR package. Just because I'm getting a palette doesn't mean I want 2 new highlighters to go with it. And so it kind of just like is annoying to me. Like, it's too much packaging, and like they should offer it in like ways that aren't this big thing, and they don't, and that bothers me. And if they are gonna offer it like this, then they should offer it with its own palette inside the PR and its own little highlight container inside the PR, so that you're not stuck with this big bulky packaging and you have to find somewhere to put it. I'm not a fan. The swatches are like pretty, I guess. I don't know. I feel like a lot of them look like they'd probably show up really similar on the eye. Some of these reds look like very similar. I don't know if it's just like the light in the swatch, but I'm just not a fan. The next thing is this MAC lipstick. It's Lindash? I feel like I'm reading that wrong, but it's in cursive and I can't read. So, I mean, it's a pretty pink. It honestly is. It's a really pretty color. But at the same time, it's like, bullet lips go through so fast. How many bullet lips do you have in your collection? I have enough. I think I have this color in my collection. It's honestly kind of the color I'm wearing on my lips today, maybe a little bit darker. And so just like think about, do you really need a bullet lipstick like this? Probably not. This next thing is the Ulta Beauty Jungle Rock collection with Brett Rockman. Honestly, I really want to like this because I think Brett Rockman is really like great. I don't know a ton about him. I don't like watch him fully, but I have seen him on Instagram. I've seen some of his like makeup looks and I think they're really beautiful. And so I think it's really cool that he has this collection. I honestly don't think the color story is quite interesting. I like that like you can do different looks. There's like a couple blues, a couple greens, a couple pinks, a pink, a purple, a couple reds, a yellow, and so I think like you could make a lot of different looks like pulling from this palette. I don't think this palette could make like one cohesive look or very many cohesive looks, maybe, because you do have like that kind of like bone color at the top corner. I don't know, it's not my favorite palette. I'm definitely not going to get it. If you see this and you feel very inspired by it, go ahead. Make sure you don't have these colors already in your collection, because honestly I have quite a small eyeshadow collection and I feel like I have one of those greens, one of those blues, that pink, both of the reds. Like, you know, just think before you buy. The highlighters, or yeah, it's like a highlight and blush duo. Looks kind of pretty. I'm not big on sparkly blushes, so I don't think it's for me. The lip glosses look pretty nice because they have like that nice doe foot applicator. So I'm definitely not anti that. And then the last thing is, I think it's a setting spray. It might be like a primer. I can't really tell. I don't know. Do you need one? If you need one, maybe get one. But you don't have to buy his makeup to support him, is kind of like the point I want to make. Like, yeah, you might really like him, but you don't need to buy it to support him. This next thing is the MAC Barbie. It's like this pink. It's a Barbie pink. And I just don't get it because of, I don't understand, because MAC's target audience is older people. Like, a ColourPop, a Barbie collab makes sense to me, because I'm like, yeah, like ColourPop has an audience of younger people who could be like, yeah, Barbie's fun, like we can like do something with Barbie. I guess there might be like this nostalgic thing with people who use MAC a lot, but I can't imagine any of them wearing like this bubblegum pink color. I can't even imagine myself wearing this bubblegum pink color. And MAC is just too expensive for the type of people that I expect to wear this. And so if you're not normally a MAC person, you should probably not buy this just because it's Barbie. I'm sure there's a bubblegum pink in a brand you normally support. And if you are a MAC buying person, would you actually wear this? Tell me down below, because I just can't imagine a person wearing this. I just, like, who wears MAC, who's like I imagine people who wear MAC are people who are already like in their jobs, are like doing work, they're older, they're out of college, or they're fully set in their career path in whatever way they got to it, and I just can't imagine them wearing the bubblegum pink. Like, but I can't imagine like a ColourPop high schooler wearing it for like something fun and cool, or like a Barbie look. I don't know, I don't know, maybe MAC is trying to like appeal to younger people, but younger people don't have the money for MAC, so I don't really understand it. This next thing is Morphe. I don't like Morphe. That's just a true fact. And what palette is this? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I screenshotted the photos before, and now I'm failing to find what color this is. Oh, this is the Jaclyn Hill palette too. I really like the purples. Like those three purples that are in like that L. Honestly, I like the one like mauvey color next to them too. Like that whole bottom left 4 and then like plus that one extra purple I really like. I really like the one yellow color. I don't think this is a super cohesive palette, but Morphe couldn't be super cohesive without creating a ton of the same colors. Honestly, there still looks like there's the ton of the same colors. Like maybe they're not the same, but they'll probably show up in your eye very similar. Morphe just did like a really sketchy thing where they changed out the vegan products in the first Jaclyn Hill palette, and now it's not vegan and it's apparently worse quality, and they didn't tell anyone. They didn't say, oh hey, we're having like a formula exchange, like, and it's very sketchy and it's very weird. It'd be different, I think, as a vegan if it didn't change the quality of the packaging. I still would have been like nice to like for them to be like, hey, it's not vegan anymore because we changed the formula, but like the fact that the quality is so much worse now, I feel like it affects everyone. It doesn't just affect someone like me who like doesn't want to have animal product or animals in my makeup, you know. This next thing is the Too Faced Clover collection. To be 100% transparent, I do not support Too Faced. I don't like their company ethos. I don't like the people that own the company, and so I don't want to support them. This looks so cute in theory, but it doesn't work in practicality. Like maybe if you have like a really deep skin tone, but it's just like, to me it's like you either get the blush or you get the bronzer. I don't put blush where I put my bronzer, so I don't really understand. Do they want it to be like a more like a peachy bronzer? And if they do, I mean, I think that works. Obviously it's not for me, like it wouldn't match my skin tone, and that's more than alright. If it does match your skin tone and it would work for you, that's fine. Obviously, like I said, don't support Too Faced, but this is very cute, but I also just don't really understand. The blush with the bronzers. Like I kind of wish they had done like a, like if they wanted to make it like a glittery, like they had done that and then like made like a, like I don't know, I just wish that it wasn't a pinky shade, because like to me a pinky bronzer like doesn't look good. I don't know. This next thing is the Ofra Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. They have a few different ones. It's 32. It's five eyeshadows for $32, so you're paying about $6.50 per eyeshadow, which is, again, like I said, not the worst price in the world, but I feel like their quality just isn't super good. I would prefer to support a different company. And if you want like a highlight color like that, like get one of their tinted highlight colors, you know? This next thing is the Jeffree Star Royals eyeshadow palette, which is like a velvet packaging, which I think is kitschy and gross. Honestly, you can't wash eyeshadow palettes like that. Like you can't wipe them. Like powder's gonna get all over it. It's giant octagon, boxy, so there's no good way to store it. I honestly already don't like Jeffree Star, which I know I sound really biased, but honestly I don't think this product is very good. I think he has so much empty space here, which I feel like people have complained about in the past. He has colors that don't even make sense with this palette. He has actually a lot of colors that don't really make sense with this palette. He has that black sparkly color. I think technically the sparkles are like a silver purple shift, but nobody uses that color. Nobody uses that color. That color is in so many eyeshadow palettes, and everyone's always like, I don't use a sparkly black. Because if you use black, it's to like phase out your smoky eye. Like you're not going to use a sparkly black, and nobody uses sparkly black, and he knows that, so I don't really understand why he would put that in this palette. I love that blue. I can't read what that says. There's like a snake imprint on it. I love the like it's like a aquamarine blue, and then I also like the purpley blue that's Scandal water that has like a goblin in it. There's two pinky colors. Honestly, there's 3 purple colors, and they're not even like the most unique groundbreaking shades of purple. I just think this is incredibly boring of a palette, and it doesn't even work with what it's supposed to be, so I don't care. The next thing is the OPV Beauty Born to Shine blush palette. You don't need all of these blushes. All of these blushes will not work for you. Why would you buy this many blushes? Are you an MUA? If you're an MUA, go ahead. Get yourself a blush palette, and if this one you think would be like a good investment for your brand and your company, sure. But if you're a single human being, you can maybe use like the brown one as a contour or bronzer, and maybe the purple one if like you're a lighter shade like me. But if you're a deeper complexion, you can't use the first 2, definitely. And if you're a very dark complexion, then you probably can't use the whole top row. And just like I can probably not use the whole bottom row unless I try to come up with creative ways to use it as like a bronzer. But it's supposed to be a blush palette. They're all sparkly blushes, so I already am not a fan because that's just not the type of blush that I go for. But I just don't understand it because like they're blushes and they're all very interesting as like different colors of blushes, and I do like that. I like that people are starting to like yellow blushes are really interesting to me, and like they have some of those. But like this palette just doesn't make any sense to me because like it's just so not like nobody can use all 6 of these shades, which is completely understandable and completely fair, but then just don't make it a palette, you know? This next thing is this MAC Petal mineralizing skin finish. It honestly looks so pretty and I love cherry blossoms, and so it's so pretty. MAC is not cruelty free or vegan, so I'm not going to be getting this, but it honestly looks really pretty. So I'm talking myself out of it by saying like I already have literally a cherry blossom skin finisher from Pacifica Beauty, and it smells super good and it's super pretty packaging and it's zero waste pretty packaging, which except for that one little plastic piece that I have to cut out, which I kind of wish they didn't have. Like I know it looks cute, but I kind of wish they didn't have it. Which MAC's whole thing would be a load of garbage that I'd have to throw out for using it. Plus it looks like it comes in like another plastic box, and so it's like, no thank you, I'm not trying to create that much waste. This next thing is these little blush quads from BH Cosmetics, and I know I was just saying how they should just split them up into ones that would work for like all of them would work for like the skin type, and that's exactly what BH Cosmetics has done here, and it's really, really cute, and yet I would not use any of these, you know? Like I'm so upset about it because it's like, this is exactly what I was just saying that I want, and yet I still don't like this. Honestly, I think some of them are okay. They're like supposed to be truffle themed, which I think is really cute. But I can't really look at any of them and tell you what they are, except for one I think is like a dark chocolate raspberry truffle, which is honestly really cute and I'm a big fan. But for the most part, I'm like, this isn't like exciting to me. There's no like super pretty, interesting blush colors. And you probably have a blush. It takes forever to pan a blush. I'm right now panning a blush for my Project Pan Roulette series. It takes forever, and I just don't think that any of these are like super exciting enough that you would want to add one to your collection. I don't know. This is the last thing, and this is the Valentine's Day palette for Urban Decay. It's the Wired, and honestly I love that this is their Valentine's Day one because it's so pretty and cool. It's like a bunch of different colors. It's not just like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be like almost like paint, I think is kind of what they're saying. So they have 6 colors that are for your face, your body, and your eye, and then there's 4 colors that are not eye safe, so they're just for your face and your body. And if you are a normal person who does normal person makeup, you can probably then only use 6 of these things out of the 10 that they're selling you. So if you were going to get anything from this collection, the pencils make sense if you like pencils. I personally do not do eyeshadow pencils. The glosses make sense if you want like some glosses. I think they also have liquid liners, it looks like. But the palette itself is a no-go for me. You're paying for 10 shadows when you can only use 6 of them. They're not very interesting shadows. That purple, that shock color is really, really pretty, and that blue fluorescent color is really, really pretty, but everything else is like, cool, you exist. I guess that yellow could be really pretty. The swatch makes it look so much darker though. Jolt, it makes it look like a mustardy one, and I don't like that I don't know what it actually is. Is it a bright yellow or is it a mustard yellow? Either way, I'm kind of excited about yellows right now, but I'd rather know than have to buy it to see. So yeah, other than that, thank you so much for watching. Everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, and if you want to see this whole look get done together, I did a 3 looks 1 palette with my Naked Urban Decay, and I did this eye look and then I finished up my face, so I will link that above and in the description. Other than that, like this video. If you want to see more anti-hauls in the future, tell me down below what you are either excited about that's being released, what you're doing right now to deal with this awful situation that we've been put in, how you feel about the products I talked about. Are you anti-hauling them? Have you got some of them? Do you like the ones you've gotten, or not like them? And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye! I could be lost, and weren't you too scared?